I walked into my backyard in Bordeaux, Tennessee, where something flew out of the ground. It was about 5 feet long, and it was a nuclear rocket. It lifted up out of the ground, went into the sky, and it seemed like it was going pretty slow. Um, I think there was some smoke or whatever. It basically it went 3/4 into downtown Nashville. It looked like it was going to hit downtown and kill everybody there, and it really scared me. It's very traumatic for me. I put my hands up in the sky to match the smoke trails in case the government was. I mean, I believe the government did launch it. I don't know why. Maybe it was a testing facility over there. Hopefully, that's what it was. It went 3/4 in the downtown, and then it was intercepted. There was a few smoke trails. NCIS eventually came to talk to me, and they said something weird to me I'll get to later that was just mind-boggling. I talked to the news station because there's been, I myself have seen some things that are pretty terroristic in the state of Tennessee, that they haven't taped off downtown or taped off the neighborhood, and I don't know why is that. Why that is. Why is this? Um, I was scared that I would be blamed for it, uh, because everybody doesn't wear a hairscarf, and I'm just saying that I feel like I don't want to be the bad guy. I have a friend named Frank Demasi. Uh, he was blamed for shooting flight TW-8800 out of the sky. And I used to live in Frank's house, and it was between him and Bin Laden. And as scary as that is, it's just like it was between him and Bin Laden. So you have to think how many Muslims maybe died over something like that. And how, it's not Frank's fault if he was just taking an order. Sure, it's not his fault at all. It's not your fault, Frank. You can feel better about it. Sure, I want to have a cup of coffee, Frank. Frank loves conspiracy theories. Uh, I know there's a couple people that make broadcasts about my team or my family or whomever, saying my family runs Hollywood or whatever stupid stuff. Or not my family, that my family works for whatever, Illuminati, Jesuits, whomever. It's always some made up story. My family has nothing to do with them. But anyway, moving on. I've just been stressed out because this glitter rocket is what I call him. The people that know me are sick of hearing about him. He made me think that he was going to hurt everybody downtown. He was really scary. The recoil on it, the nuclear burns, actually burned my face. I went to the hospital and they denied me treatment. And they deemed it status nuclear. And it was really weird. The American government has maybe done this. I don't want to say too much because I don't want to get in trouble just for talking about this rocket, but I guess, with all the drones and helicopters and everything, and just my house in Bordeaux had overlooked the whole state of Tennessee, and there was other things that have happened. Things have happened since I've lived here. I think maybe it's the DuPont. I forget what that facility is called present day, but I'm not going to be blamed for this nuclear rocket and be called some terrorist or something. I don't I don't want to hurt anybody. I was never violent at all. Um, excuse me if I'm talking slow and I sound sick. I've been so stressed out, it's made me sick. All this stuff is sick. I have sick thoughts about people overseas getting hurt or blamed or whatever. NCIS came and bothered me and looked at me and he said, ISIS is no more. And I said, well, what if they can remote view and their sleeper assassin technology, all this, it's like Stargate program times 10. I says hashashing, super shadow assassins, something. I said, what are you remote viewing on my phone? He said, if ISIS can remote view, then I think we had a problem. I said, well, all right, George, I'll send that right over. I'll let you know if anybody in the reports trying to cut off their own, like if ISIS could remote view, would they jump in to our homes and make you like cut off your own head and hold your own head up, or negotiate how many of their heads would be cut off? I don't know, but that's what I had said to them. Not about heads getting cut off. Oh yeah, by the way, this is Wilson right here. Me and Wilson are stuck on an island. I guess you cut my head off, we'll still be friends in 10 years. Anyway, this is the Antichrist right here. Not me. You see, everybody, government, everybody, I have a scarf on my head. That makes me not the Antichrist. This guy's the Antichrist right here. He looks like the AT&T building. I don't know if you guys know this, but you want me to call someone who cares? I'll probably call God. This hover thing looks like the AT&T building. There was like the Armageddon in my backyard in Bordeaux, and I have witnesses too. I have witnesses that were there. A couple people done seen that nuclear rocket that launched in downtown. There was a red moon outside. There was drones, helicopters. I was going to Israeli Jiu-Jitsu, the body shop, to take classes. And I know they said, well, we can run any operation we want, but I don't want this to be blamed on a special forces team or anything like that. You never really see special forces. If you say you're a black operative, that just means that you have somebody in the CIA or somebody willing to vouch for you. Well, I know that I've been bothered by the government to find level 0, blah, blah, blah. I never signed up. I don't sign up for war. There's no enlistment papers. If you're going to blame, let's say, Bin Laden, like it was between Frank Demasi and Bin Laden, who shot that plane out of the sky, flight TU-8800, and it's a tragedy. I lived with Frank. I don't think he's responsible for it, and neither do I think Bin Laden was responsible for it. I don't think DuPont was responsible for it. I think it was a misunderstanding, because surely Frank's my friend. He doesn't have a problem with necessarily Muslims or ISIS or whoever. I'm sorry, he would have a problem with ISIS. I can neither confirm or deny. But hell, Frank, yeah, I'm not saying anything about being Muslim or ISIS or anything, but it seems like the government kind of wanted to program me to blame them. It was like, you make me want to cut off my own head type shit. If I say something like that, they'll be like, oh, you've been brainwashed. Oh, you've been set out, is what the protesters that know me from Black Lives Matter said. Oh, you've been set out, you're crying today. No, Autumn, or I can't even nickname myself Isa anymore, because that's the Egyptian mythology. We all want to be her. I know, we all want to be her. We all want to be Isa. But that's a bad word sometimes. But yeah, so anyway, the Egyptian goddess is who I'm talking about. So I was at the courthouse, they're like, oh, she must have been set out. I'm like, oh yeah, it's just one of those days where you don't want to wake up, everything is, never mind. So that was a song. So moving on, I hate singing, it's embarrassing. It's like saying Guar, the musicians, are terrorists. I don't think, like, let's say Vinny Paz is in his house, like, chopping off the president's head or whatever. Back to what I was saying about how I'm a proud American today. I'm a proud American today because since there was, we all know this, see, I have a prop to calm everybody down. This is a supposed glitter bomb that is downtown. Now, they should have taped off everybody's houses and looked for the terrorists that put a glitter bomb in the trash, because it's not only me and Guar or Kim Kardashian who's gonna have our freaking doors kicked in and have our phones spied on and everything like that. There's a proud American, if not the reason why this glitter bomb and these nuclear rockets is on the news, is because it's probably our own government doing it. And I'm not the one. I'm like, you guys are just thinking I'm an atypical Muslim. You guys, like, it gives me a conspiracy theory. If anybody's good at that, it's my dear friend Eric. But his show doesn't really matter because it's all preposterous. But anyway, I'm more of an Alex Jones fan because, well, at least he's a high knight. And, well, I have high knights in my bloodlines, which doesn't make me a Dane, but it makes me a candidate to be one. But anyway, moving on. There was mass riots on the street, and I'm just like, how is it? You know, I was just staring at the monument going, God, that is an ugly monument. And I love monuments. I love the Delta Army. I love Jason Bourne's. It's like, if somebody's going to blame my music group, or the NCIS is going to blame ISIS, then you might as well blame Bin Laden, because if it's going to be between me and somebody, I'd rather it be between me and Bin Laden, because it's there at a model day in Iraq. And so far, no, I'm just kidding. It's really not funny. I think we all appreciate beauty. With that being said, I don't know why NCIS is saying, like, oh, you know, there is no more ISIS. I'm like, well, why are you bringing it up then? You sound like you're being defensive. I only know them from remote viewing. I mean, they're a hard group not to spy on. Now I'm being funny. Like, hell, if I could, psychological warfare. And what's this psychological warfare stuff that's going around? It's like, merci beaucoup, DuPont. I'll send my thoughts right over. It's like saying I have an air gun Roku remote. I have an air Roku remote that I can stand here and shoot somebody with. And there's like these GSG-9 black storks over there in Palestine. And they could drag a jeweler out in the middle of Palestine because I found something on Israeli diamond trading. And I'm like, well, if I find one mistake in this diamond, well, the thing is that makes me think of explosives. And that's just where it's just the way my mind thinks about being at the market. Well, because I have a scarf right now, and I'm not going to say what it's called. It doesn't matter, but it's like saying, like, y'all want me to be the bad guy, the American government. I'm like, why'd I go outside and dress like Bin Laden for you? And be like, do, 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 with this stick and dun, 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 and like parade around in front of the whole town. But, I mean, the thing is, it's not fair to Muslim people. And I am Muslim. I don't feel Muslim right now. I'll tell you what, I am a proud American right now. Shit. I have a friend named Jason, not a Jason Bourne. If you're going to blame somebody, maybe blame Jason. See, it's okay for a CIA operative to go out and conduct a world war in front of a whole state of Nashville and then run around trying to get their ops in front of the whole town. If I go down there with a scarf on my head, you know, I traumatize myself, and it's like I clear out the whole downtown Nashville. They're so terrified of me just because I wear a scarf on my head. And, you know, if I was really a threat, everybody would have kicked in my door by now and arrested me. But I don't do anything wrong. I don't want to hurt anybody. By the time you guys let me out of this virtual prison, I will not even be upset anymore. I feel like I live in a dungeon ever since I saw this nuclear rocket that was looked like it was gonna hit downtown. And it scares me because I'm like, well, what if everybody thinks I'm a terrorist? I don't want to come forward and talk about it. Well, I need some activists the people from the riot said they were so terrified by talking to me because I was so traumatized by it. I was throwing beeping scooters into traffic and then running and diving behind buildings and stuff. And I was terrified of my microwave. I was beating my microwave out at times, and then I would think about how the planet would almost obliterate. I was seeing stars in the sky, and every time I got in a cab driver, I would for some reason think it was like an Israeli scientist, and I was seeing the world like and looking at the buildings like they were shaped like molecules, like an atom bomb. Everything I saw looked like explosive because I was traumatized by the American government. I'm like, you guys want a profile on how they make a terrorist? I mean, here you have one. I had to wear pink and put on a pretty leopard scarf so people don't see me and go, oh my god, and like freak out. Um, I am scared that like my hip hop friends will be like blame like they have a right to artistic expression, and that's what God likes is artistic expression. It's like uh I can't even tell you how natural it is for me to grip my hands a certain way or put my hands on my head and rock back and forth. It comes to find out that if people see that body language, they think that's terroristic. I'm like, no, actually, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm definitely not a terrorist. I was just trying to calm myself down because when I pray, I rock and go like this. And I sing songs to get me back closer to God. It's not that I've been set out or was about to blow myself up or hurt somebody else. That's preposterous. Now, whichever nerd or CIA or whoever flew this guy through the sky, I'm thinking that he looked like the Antichrist. And every day I walked outside, I was like, you building over there, you look like the Antichrist. And I've been like, boom, and I would shoot at him. Well, one day I sit in my backyard and it was almost like he said, oh yeah, motherfucker. He like hovered through the air. I was like, well, damn, the building's flying through the air. What is this? What is this? This is crazy. And he came over and I'm like, he was right up in front of me. I said, you're the Antichrist. I said, it's the Antichrist. And